Happy Monday. Let's talk about the due process of law this week. What do you say? You know, last week, the big news, and don't ask me why it's big news, but the big news was that O.J. Simpson got paroled. Or rather, I should say he got parole. He doesn't get out until October. But it's a big deal. And, you know, the guy's been in jail for 9 years. And that's something. But all of the talk, after he got his parole, a lot of the radio chatter was all about how people are going to try to get him to violate his parole, so he'll have to go back into jail. Not about this theft thing that he did to actually get put in jail. It's all about how they think he killed his wife and her lover. Well, I probably think so too. But the fact of the matter is, he got acquitted in the trial where they were trying to prove it. And here in America, we have something called the due process of law. And we have to live by it. I think it's important that we let the process play itself out and live by that law. We had something a little closer to home last week. A former sheriff by the name of Lee Baca was finally told he had to go to prison. This is like, what, 3 years after he'd been convicted? After all the appeals and this and that and everything else? Now, he's an old guy and it's not going to be fun. But he shouldn't get to stay out of jail while his lawyers continue to try to fight the system. I think in this case, due process has been completed. I do think that we have something close to home that has a lot to do about due process as well. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the city councilwoman who has found herself in quite a bind. The police have turned everything over to the district attorney, and the district attorney has turned some of it over to the city prosecutor. But everybody wants something done about it now. Yeah, I do too. I just like to get it off my plate, to be honest with you. But the fact of the matter is, we have to let the process play itself out. The district attorney has to decide what he's going to do with the integrity stuff. The city prosecutor has to decide what he's going to do with the claims of domestic violence. And it's not just the city councilwoman, I should say. There's a former chief of staff involved too. Nobody knows for sure who's going to be charged with what, or if anybody's going to be charged with anything. But we have to let the process work itself out. I get emails all the time about how we have to do something to get Mrs. Pierce out of office right now. Well, Mrs. Pierce apparently doesn't think so. And until the process is done, we do not have a leg to stand on. So let it work itself out. Let the attorneys do what attorneys do. And I got to tell you, when it's attorneys, they don't do it very fast. So we're just going to have to wait for a bit. We are a country that abides by the process of law. That's what makes us so great. We have to maintain that. Thanks.